Welcome to my lakeboat time machine. It's here to take us back in time so we can take a peek at ordinary folks doing ordinary things a long time ago. We've landed at Superior, Wisconsin on August 9th, 1941. Here at the grain elevators looking across toward Duluth, in the distance, the 1892 vintage steamer Mariposa is passing by. Our business today is over here at the Great Northern Elevator S. You see, there are two boats in. Let's go have a closer look. The first one is a 366-foot crane vessel Venus. She's just finishing unloading a cargo of steel. Her crane operator is just putting the last of her cargo into these railroad cars. Now I know there's a crane nerd or two out there, so here's a close-up. And for you lakeboat nuts out there, here's a close-up of the Venus's pilot house. Let's leave the Venus to finish her work and walk up the dock and see what the other boat ahead of her is. Wow, cool! It's the Sultana loading grain. Sultana was constructed in 1902 as a 366-foot ore carrier under the Tomlinson Fleet Management. On March 9, 1923, she was sold to the Nicholson Universal Steamship Company, whose colors we see on her today. Notice that the only aid to navigation on her pilot house is her radio direction finder. Also note that her lower pilot house windows are boarded up. This is likely the home of her big gyro compass. She's almost fully loaded, but the grain spouts are still working hard. Here's a good shot of her stern, and we can see some interesting stuff. Check out her bunker of coal, overflowing around the stack. Keep in mind that someone's got to get up there and shovel all of that. Also notice on her smokestack the Nicholson logo. Let's go aboard and see what's happening. These guys are busy. I don't think they'll notice us. I need to take this moment to confess that I discovered on my first and only trip aboard a grain boat that I'm horribly allergic to grain dust. Now these guys are just hanging out, sitting on some hatch covers and enjoying the August afternoon. I'd be wheezing in my cabin. Some captains are just as allergic as I am. I was told of one who, as soon as the lines were secure, grabbed a cab to a local hotel and left orders to call him when the loading was over. Grain loading of any kind is by no means neat, tidy, and clean. Today, it appears that the Sultana may be loading a cargo of corn. But I have no proof of that, so I'm just going to call it grain. Here you see the Sultana's deck covered in the grain. And here we see an interesting tool that the grain trimmers use. Right here. Here, here, and here. Check out this trimmer using the tool to deflect the grain. This is the method that fills the gaps between the open hatches. I'm sure that this device has a name and that someone out there knows what it's called. Please feel free to let us all know in the comments section of this video. Well before the hold is full, the deck crew are busy closing the hatches. Notice the large wooden handles used to place the hatch covers. Each hatch was covered with a heavy tarp. Notice these wedges, which are properly called cleats and are kept in bushel baskets. We'll see what they're for in a moment. The tarps are carefully and neatly arranged. When the tarp is tucked over the hatch covers, these battens will be used. In this view, we get a better idea of how the hatch is secured. Here we see a fully tarped hatch. Remember the bushel basket full of cleats? Here's how they work. Steel battens are placed so as to hold the tarp edges against the hatch combing. The cleats are then hammered into place, one going this way and another going that way. Finally, a steel strongback like this one is placed across the hatch athwartwise. In other words, like this. Sultana had 10 hatches, each having 28 of these locks that each took 2 cleats, making a total of 560 cleats. That meant that her deckhands had to handle the cleats 1,120 times in every port. Well, it looks as if the Venus is departing. And it's probably time for us to get back in our time machine and leave too, before the deckhands decide that we need to help them with the cleats.